Hello everybody, it's me Ghost Bunny and happy holidays. I'm gonna say that because I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload this video, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. It's been a while since I sat and read with you guys. Sorry about that. I kind of been pretty busy with university. I know probably nobody asked, but yeah, I went back to university and decided I wanted to finish at least something. But yeah, I've been kind of all over the place and haven't really had a chance to sit down and enjoy a good book. But finally done with my finals and all that, I get to finally sit down and just read and just enjoy myself a little bit. And yeah, just wanted to say that. And I'm talking about reading. What book are we going to be reading? Well, we're going to be reading Iron Widow. Um, the first two chapters are quite enjoyable, so I want to see what the rest of the book holds. I'm very, very curious about the rest of the content of it, and I'm really excited. I want to know what world, our beautiful, amazing Xiran Zhou created. Again, I think I'm mispronouncing her name. I have heard her pronounce her name. I'm just really bad with pronunciations and I'm very tone deaf. Pero with that being said, let me give my little disclaimer so that I have no affiliations with the creator. Um, I'm just doing this for the funsies of it, and I am not a native Chinese speaker, so there might be some names and places that I may mispronounce. This book in question is not a BL. I know I tend to read BLs. This is the first book that I'm reading that is not a BL. So I don't know if I said that last time. I should rewatch my videos. I don't rewatch my videos. I just don't like the sound of my voice. Which, how do you guys like it? Do you guys like my voice? I feel like my voice is too high pitched. I borderline anime girl sometimes, and I don't know. But yeah. Also, this is not an official audiobook. I want to clarify this. If Xiran later wants to make her own audiobook, or if she even has an audiobook out, that is the official. I have no affiliations with that, and this is just us being gal pals having a good old gay time, just having fun. So yeah, I may add I may add commentary. I may just because I like getting myself into the books. If I'm enjoying the book, you'll just see my little commentary, my little improv, my little all over it. So yeah, if you guys don't like it, then you might not like this little thing. But if you guys want to read along with me, if you have the book, grab it, and yeah, let's let's begin. Let's just start with it. For those who are following, we are currently on page 32. So we are currently on page 32, chapter 3, The Life You Want. So let us begin. The next time anyone in my family willingly utters a word to me, it's them shrieking my name in the morning of my enlistment. I lurch up from my straw bed, where I've been festering with a twisted stomach all night, turning my wooden hairpin over and over and over in my hand like a thick chopstick. A hovercraft is supposed to take me to the Great Wall. Did they see it in the distance or something? Tian, my grandmother's voice floats closer to the door. There's a boy here. I falter while getting up. My hand breaks against my grandparents' bed frame. A boy? No, 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 no. It can't be. I totter to the door in a daze. A dangerous anticipation hovers, alarm red in my chest. My thumping heartbeat travels from my palm and into the door as I push it open. Brightness stings my eyes. Then, when the spots wash away, there he is. Yishi? By the way, I'm so sorry. I think I mispronounced that. I'm so sorry. He's standing in the blazing sunlight beyond the front entrance, pleading with my family who cower like cave creatures in the shadows of our house. His white silk robes embroidered with golden patterns of bamboo shoots and leaves practically glow like an otherworldly material. I have never seen him outside the mottlet shadows of forest cover. For an instant, I'm disorientated. Is it really him? But the gentle tenor of his voice is unmistakable. Aunties, uncles, believe me, I can match any price. He shows my family the metal piece of his ID, so please let me marry your daughter. My heart chokes like I've missed a step going down the stairs along the rice terrace. Shock ripples through my family. Jaws they drop. Hands fly to their lips. My grandmother, standing closest to me, swings a bewildered look between me and Yizi. Transaction chimes must be going off like firecrackers in their heads at the sight of his family name and his address in the Huaxia capital, Chang'an. Again, I'm sorry, I am not a native Chinese speaker. I swear I'm trying my best. They might actually forbid me from getting on the hoverboard. I move without speaking or thinking. I shove through them, snatch Yizi by the wrist, then tug him into the dimness of the house. His mouth parts in surprise. He almost trips over the threshold, but then his eyes meet mine and light up with an intensity that shoots a pack through my chest. I drag him into my grandparents' room. Even his shoes don't sound the same when they scuff our dingy concrete floors. Don't come in, I warn my family before slamming the door, steering a fury of dust. Staring a fury of dust, I turn to Yizi. The slant of light from the window cuts over him like an ethereal blade, turning his robes lunar white and his skin translucent. This is my house, my home. My voice shakens to silence. The image of him against the greasy wooden walls is so wrong that I'm not sure if I'm dreaming. You are never, ever supposed to show up here. How did you even find it? The official's registry? He gulped, thick lashed eyes wilting. Zetian, I can take you to Chang'an. No, you can't, I blurt because my family is definitely eavesdropping. That's just something you're saying. Your father they would never let you marry me. He's got 14 sons. He'll get over it. Really? Would he? Wouldn't he rather pair you up with, I don't know, the granddaughter of some high up official? Like, I doubt he became the richest man in Huaxia by missing opportunities. He's not that stupid, okay? He Then we'll make our own opportunities. We can figure it out together. As long as there's life, there's hope. Yizi, Yizi lifts my fingers into the spill of window light. His words tremble like winter and fall like snow. But any life I make will be meaningless without you. Oh, that's a Casanova. Light shivers in my eyes. His face blurs over. I know how to be hurt. I know how to take a beating, how to be insulted, how to be ground up and crumbled and thrown around like a piece of trash. But this, I don't know how to handle. It doesn't feel real. It can't be real. Nah, fake. It's fake news. I'm not falling for it. He's full of shit. I can feel it in my bones. Give me a break. I snatched my hand away. Hot tears scalded from the corners of my eyes. A dry laugh cracks in my voice. Frontier peasant girl married into the richest family in Huaxia. Can you even be realistic? I'm not some 4-year-old child you can swindle. Yixi's eyes glow over. Zetian, stop pretending like your family would let me be anything but a concubine. I back away with wobbling steps. And that will never work. There'll be problems when I refuse to kowtow word to your disgusting pig of a father. Oh, I think it says bow down. Oops. When I refuse to serve the proper wife, you'll can I read? Inevitably get married with. When I refuse to bear your son, because I am never letting anyone's spawn swell upon my body and mind, bind me forever, not even yours. And you will not be able to prevent any of this because you are barely 18 years old, and any semblance of money and power you may have are based on your father's mercy. Now, you could bravely elope with me, and we could spend our lives as humble migrants working in some small city. But guess what, buckaroo? Because I never got to do what I wanted, I will be miserable. I will be constantly thinking about how much more satisfying it would have been if I had volunteered for my death instead of going with you. Is that what you want? Is that the life you want, Gao Yixi? My words snap off into an asphyxiating silence. Yisi looks at me, a beautiful immortal who's floated down from the heavenly court only to stumble upon the concept of cannibalism. Then it's not silent anymore. A rumbling clatter picks up beyond the window. Great winds churn through the mountains, rustling the trees. Our pigs and chickens freak out in the backyard, oinking and clucking in their pens. Now that must be the hoverboard or hovercraft. Makes more sense of a hovercraft than a hoverboard. Never mind. I've heard this noise before. Well, once before. When my sister was taken, I didn't realize it was meant for her until the hovercraft hovered directly over our house, its steady hull gleaming like white fire, and a soldier with a neat topknot and olive green uniform dropped a rope ladder onto into our backyard. Everyone had kept it a secret from me, including her. They'd known they wouldn't be able to. Next page. They wouldn't be able to predict what I'd do to prevent it if I hadn't found out beforehand. I couldn't stop anybody then. Nobody can stop me now. Setian. GC leans closer, whispering, eyes widening. There has to be a different way to kill Yangguang. My family has connections in. If there was anything you could do, you would have done it already. I growl under my breath. You can't touch a pilot that powerful and popular. Yeezy, you just can't. What about his family? Yeezy's voice sinks lower, deeper. His eyes darken with a menacing fervor. Yeah. I've only glimpsed in him a few times. They're not oh wait, that's him. They're not untouchable. Would it be enough for them to be? No, I say on a gasping breath. Yeezy really must be beyond desperate. They weren't the ones who did what they did. What would be the point? Then just let him die in battle. Male pilots hardly live past 25. You don't get it. It needs to be me. I need to do it. I need to avenge Big Sister by my own hand. Why? His fine brows squeeze up in the middle. Karma will get him. There's no such thing as karma, especially when I'm a muck. Look, I need to do it. Got it? I say, enunciating every syllable like I want to crush them with my own teeth. Or, if it does exist, it sure doesn't give a shit about people like me. Some of us were born to be used and discarded. We can't afford to simply go along with the flow of life because nothing in this world has been created, built, or set up in our favor. If we want something, we have to push back against everything around us and take it by force. Easy has nothing to say to that. He just looks at me, weary lines etched around his eyes. Strands of his half-up hair stray across the front of his pristine robes, curling to the sides as choppy winds intensified through the window. We're all gonna die anyways, I say, softer. Don't you wish you could at least go out doing something you've dreamt of doing? The Easy's mouth opens and closes. His lips have gone pale. I can't stop staring at them. The thing I dream about most is being with you. No more hiding, no more shame. My heartstrings pull into knots. Then you seriously need to dream bigger, Easy. The hovercraft rumbles louder. A buzz goes through the house, vibrating the walls. No regrets? Yeezy learns. Yeezy leans even closer. You really won't come with me? It'll be the same fight, just in a city instead of a village. I murmur, focus flicking to his lips over and over again. A new kind of tension builds in me. I'm tired. Just tired. But we could. I grasp his face and close the gap between us. His plea hushes away between our lips. Warmth like I've never felt blooms through me. Heat steeps in my blood, and I swear I could have turned luminous. Yeezy's lips are tense with surprise at first, then melt to the shape of mine. His hand lifts up, trembling, grazing my neck, like he's afraid to touch me, like he's afraid that isn't real. When I break the kiss, I thread my fingers through the pulled back portion of his hair and touch my forehead to his. Warm breaths gust and swirl between our faces. Maybe if things were different, I could get used to this. Being cradled in his warmth and light, being cherished, being loved. But I have no faith in love. Love cannot save me. I chose vengeance. Gathering my senses, I rip myself away and push him back. That's what you were trying to get right, I say, with no emotion, ignoring his disheveled look, his pained eyes. You got it. Now let me go. If you somehow retrieve my body, burn it and scatter the ashes in the creek so I can follow after Big Sister wherever she is. Wet lines break from his eyes, glittering in the sunlight. I can't look anymore. I turn and head for the door. But before I reach it, I pause. One last thing, I say over my shoulder, too quiet for my family to hear over the hovercraft turning. Don't think I've overlooked that you came to my house and almost foiled my plan, despite knowing how important it is to me. If you tip off the army in even the slightest way, I'll kill you. Myself, got it? When they lock me up, and then I'll haunt you for the rest of your life. I wrench the door open and leave him forever. Okay, now let's continue on to chapter 4. We are currently now on page 39. The chapter is called Ready to Serve. Serve face, serve body, serve vengeance, because I am the night, I am the dark, I am Iron Widow. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let's continue. A dim chamber beneath the great wall, a metal platform cluttered with testing equipment, a shining game screen on the ceiling, one I must focus on while being swung up and down on a tilt table. I swear I'm about to vomit all over my wispy new concubine robes when the tilt table finally jerks to a halt. I clam a hand over my stomach while lowering the sticky game controller. My senses slosh by inertia. I can see why this test was supposed to be done when we first arrived, but they were having trouble with the whole machine, so they've resorted to prettying us first. 624. Auntie Zhou, a senior maid servant, calls out my official spirit pressure value from behind the spectral glow of my screen. The number reverberates that off the chamber's metal walls. Can I read? Shock pulses through me, and whispers of surprise flutter out of the 5 other girls on the bench down from the testing platforms. So far, their tested values have mostly been, in the double digits, with one exception of 118. And well, I'm pretty sure we know who that's gonna be. When I was 14, a mobile testing team came to my village and tested all us children, but I didn't expect the grandiose seeming estimation of me to be accurate. Spirit pressure is a measure of mental power, of the level of force someone can use to channel their chi. Only some, like 3% of people, pass the 500 mark, the minimum required to activate a chrysalis. I almost laugh at this absurdity. If I were a boy, I'd be living a dream. I could fight mecha aliens in my own giant transforming war machine, be loved and praised as a celebrity, and get serviced by a watchtower full of concubines. But alas, I'm not a boy, and this value only means I'd survive a few more battles than most concubine pilots. which is not what I came here to do to begin with. Auntie Zhou totters around her screens and comes to me. Her hair is drawn into a high tight bun. Her shadow grows on the back wall, and as she approaches, the gold hems and knot buttons on her dark green tunic gleam under the game screen spotlight. Congratulations, Lady Boo, she says while removing the wire robe attached to my head. The wire probes attached to my head. You'll be entering Prince Colonel Yang's service as a full-fledged consort. Huh? Even Big Sister was only concubine rank. My starting salary will be quadruple hers. My family will be ecstatic to hear that. For a few days at least. Remember, though, this is not an absolute measure. Auntie Doe repeats the same spiel she gave the others. Things may be different once you get into the chrysalis, depending on how well you match with the Prince Colonel Yang. You may underperform. You due to inability to empathize with his mind, or you may undergo metamorphosis, rising closer to his value. My best advice is to understand him, support him, and be there for him no matter how bad the battle gets. Do your part, and you may even turn out to be his iron princess. Oh, what joys! Well, thank you, I guess. I barely stopped myself from snorting, even in the face of hard members. She's trying to delude us into wobbling toward our deaths with bright smiles, believing we could be that special exception. I leave the controller and shift my legs off the tilt table's crackled leather padding, limp my limp Lip, limp by limp, my new embroidered silk shoes clinked their like pins down the platform patterned steel steps. Heat scatters from me, robbed by the chilly air. Goose flesh shudders out of my skin, extra startling with my pores ripped clean of their hair. The bloody taste of rust somehow makes it to my tongue. The other enlistees huddle on a long bench attached to the wall, hugging their chests. The pale auras of screen lights haunt them from afar. Their shadows skulk on the glistening metal behind them, like predators about to snatch them up. The next girl to be tested, wrings her hands and rises from the bench. We pass each other. The Rukum were wearing ghosting in different directions, like pastel vapor green and yellow and white, Yang Guang's colors, basically. The loose robes are considerably brighter and gauzier than the auntie's garments, flowing like watercolor on our scrubbed, waxed, examined, and perfumed bodies, with the collar of, well, as low as our chest. The rukun exposes more skin than I've ever shown in front of others. A smoke green silk garland wreaths around our arm, dripping at our backs. Waves of nausea keeps twisting me up, but I push through all discomfort. I can't show any sign of not being ready to handle this. I may be, starting off as a concert, but Yang Guan could easily favor and promote another girl. Like, the fuck? If I don't attract his favor, I could be forgotten amongst the herd of servant girls in this hellhole watchtower. I'd be way harder to find a chance to slaughter him. You are here to provide comfort and compassion to one of the greatest heroes of all time. Auntie Doe's introductory speech replays in my mind from when we, first gathered in the trembling line. You were there. You don't need explanations. Look, do I need to repeat? Yeah, okay, whatever. From this day onward, you exist to please him, a man, because your life is pointless without one. Imagine you a simple woman without a man in their life. I could never, oh my dearest. Seriously. Men-centered women. I cannot relate. I should read what's actually written. that he may be in peak physical and mental condition to battle the Huns that threaten our borders. His well-being should be the most prominent subject of your thoughts. You will bring him meals when he is hungry, pour him water when he is thirsty, and partake in his hobbies with him with lively enthusiasm. When he speaks, you will give your full attention without interrupting or arguing. You will not be moody, pessimistic, or indifferent, and most importantly, well, you will not react negatively to his touch. And that, my friends, is what I would like to call grape culture in a nutshell. I sit down in the widest gap between the other girls. Cold steel scalds the back of my thighs. I cross my legs tightly, trying to calm my racing pulse. My mind roils with a storm of thoughts. If Yang Guang might recognize my sister in my face, like, can he? If he'd really chose me to serve him, if the blade in my hairpin is sharp enough to rupture his jugular. No one speaks. We haven't spoken much since, the maidenhood test hours earlier by the aunties. One girl didn't pass. Sad. She swore and screamed and cried that she never did anything with a boy, which made me doubt the accuracy of the checking system, but she was officially disqualified from becoming a concubine pilot, and then they took her away. To where? I don't know. Hopefully not back to her home, 'cause damn, her family would probably drown her in the pig cage. Yikes. I shudder to imagine what might have happened if I somehow hadn't passed their arbitrary standards either. I can't shake the memory of my family assaulting me with questions about Yeezy as I elbowed through them to get, to the hovercraft, rope ladder, thingamabob. I never crossed the line with him, was the only thing I said, my cheeks burning. I didn't know how he handled them, after I left. But it doesn't matter when they can't get to me anymore. So, who got the last laugh, I guess. Ha 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 ha. It physically aches me to know that 3 months ago, Big Sister went through this too. All of this. The whole day of baths, waxing, styling, makeup, rule lectures, and photo shoots for new outlets. Easy. We'll see those photos. And the comments. Ugh. Picking my appearance apart, judging if I'm worthy of being with Yang Guang. I hope Yizi gets disgusted enough to forget me. The awful screeches and booms of the tilt table resound through the chambers again. Bathed in gloomy blue by various equipments, the other enlistees and I watched the girl get seesawed while trying to control a butterfly on the ceiling screen. She has 10 minutes to get it as far through a tunnel of obstacles as possible. The game's colors fluctuate on every metal wall. I have no idea why this is considered the best way to to test spirit pressure, but I don't make them rules, I just follow them, okay? I'm just an employee. Maybe it's got something to do with the effort it takes to concentrate while being swung. I keep my hand on my stomach. Anxiety switches, it swishes in my chest like a dog's tail. I don't know if I wish time would speed up or I wanted to slow down. The thought of actually being done and lined up in front of Yang Guan makes me want to stop existing this very instant. But the preparations have also taken long enough, so it must be deep into the night by now. Yang Guang's is not turtle skin. Most Huntons attacks happen at night. I hate this fucker. I reach absently for my engineering marvel of a hairstyle, consisting of two oiled swirls on top of my head, like fox ears, then volume made by fake hair bundles pinned beneath. White crystal lilies serve as if and I quote, fur, end quote, in the middle of the ears, and silver pins with glittering tassels skewer everything in place. I run a finger over my original hairpin, the only dull thing in my shiny clutter. Are you sure that pink goes well with our makeup? The girl beside me suddenly whispers. Chills shot through me like I've been thrown into a frozen lake. Did she notice something? Did the blade part peek out? Oh no. I brushed the jun- juncture where it would come apart, so smooth thanks to sky. It's a memento from my mother. I toss out the soft, fat Oh, a flat lie that worked on the aunties. My hand dropped slowly, casually, through my fingers have gone as cold. Though my fingers have gone as cold as the bench beneath us. Yeah, but don't you think it seems a little out of place? She says with her hand on her chin, the white powder covering our blemishes mirror onto her palm. Our lips have been rogued and glossed like fresh berries, and our eyes have been lined with sullen flicks and shadowed with peach pink. Where else am I? Can I read? Where else am I supposed to put it? I furrowed my brows, probably messing up the scarlet lotus painted between them. These robes don't have pockets. Okay, you could at least leave it with Auntie Doe. I'm sure it means a lot to you, but like, it doesn't look precisely enough to be stolen. I mean, it's not precious enough to be stolen. It looks cheap. I recall this girl's name, Xiao Shu Fei, also known as Bitch. Yeah, I said it. She's the one with the spirit pressure of 180. Your spirit power isn't even close to mine. Suck on that. It's fine where it is, I hissed, despite knowing I shouldn't risk stirring trouble. She should drop this. Also, why the f do you care? I mean, why do you care? Hey, I'm just trying to look out for you. She straightened. She's she straightens pretty face, wrapping into a skull. Yeah, but like who asked? Worry about yourself, why don't you? She gapes. Do you think you're better than us? Or something? Do you think we're jealous of you? The other girls on the bench are gawking at us now. 3 pairs of painted lines, eyes slick with fear and machine light. Well, I do now. Or, why do you bring it up? I squint. What? What is there to be jealous of? My spirit pressure. Your spirit pressure's been shit. Please. No one needs such a big pressure to be a good concubine. She sweeps the leer down my figure, which, thanks to the snacks Yeezy brought over, never really shrank much, despite my family's best attempt at starving me. Unlucky for her, I still had a nice pair of tits. You, I guess, random girl. I forgot her name, even though I could just look to the side. One girl covers her mouth in shock, but I don't care. I laughed. This is just sad, honestly. You think 624 is big? My mouth twitches into a stiff grin. You realize Yang Guang is over 6,000, right? I am nothing. We are all nothing. Xiao Shufei, see, I could have just looked down. Xiao Shufei shifts uncomfortably. Her fingers curl over her robes. Don't call our master by his name. The term hits me like a punch to the gut. Ow, that hurt. I crush my lips together, blinking stars out of my eyes from a flash flood of fury. 100 words rush up my throat, but they get stopped by my teeth. I can't afford to insult him out loud, at least for now. I, Auntie Doe, still concentrating on running the test, but will draw her attention if this goes any further. Realizing a tense breath from my nose, I turn away from Xiao Shufei. Yet it only cranks her up. It only cranks up her audaciousness. I can't believe your attitude, she says louder. We're here to serve a prince class pilot. Are you really going to get all cleaned up only to leave that ugly pin in your hair? Could you be less obvious about being peasant trash? Bitch, we're all peasant trash. I snap under my breath, whipping my glare back to her, including him. No rich people let their sons be drafted. The noble title, the pretty robes, the fancy jewelry, they're just shiny distractions to make us feel better about dying young. Just shiny. I already read that. We will. Maybe that's even why you're trying to irk me. But let me tell you, you should really be spending your limited time better. Go ahead, feel as classy and dignified as you want. I wiggle my fingers near the silver tassel in her hair. Because the only reason they gave you all this is because you won't need it for long. Hmm? Bitch, I knew I didn't like her. Frigid silence pressed down on us. The beginning of a sob creases Xiaoshu's face, forehead, and mouth. Guilt squeezes me for an instant. Then she snatches my pin out of my hair. Horror almost slams me to the floor. My gaze veers in a panic. I barely dare to look back, though the pin has miraculously held in one piece. It eases my spiky nerve, but doesn't stop every flux of warmth and adrenaline in me from slowing the cold dragging shards. I raise my chin, peer down the slope of my nose at the foolish little dumbass. She gawks at the pin in her hand as if stunned by her own act. She angles away, evading my eyes. I smack the bench with a resounding clank. I would seriously give that back to her. A chuckling male voice echoes in the doorway. That girl does not seem like one to be messed with. Our heads turn in sync, but dread breaks over me long before I see him standing there, arms crossed, leaning against the wall. That voice has a special effect on me, scorched into my mind from the interview and videos my family watched over and over and over in awe before forcing Big Sister to enlist for him. Here he is, the boy I must kill. And that was chapter 3 and 4 of Iron Widow. If you guys have been liking my readings, you guys can like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube shenanigans. I might start posting these on TikTok. I don't know. I have posted some, but not all of them. I'm not sure. Either way, do the thingies, like comment and stuff like that. I have a playlist on YouTube if you guys want to, hear the first chapters and follow along with my reading. So yeah. Also, I don't know when I'm posting this. Hopefully I'm posting it before Christmas. If I do, then Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah. I do know we're around Hanukkah, right? Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. Happy holidays in general. And if I do post this before New Year's, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to all of you. And I hope you have a great 2026. I hope everything goes well. And yeah, just love you guys. And blah, 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 blah. Bye.